Greetings and God bless. I just wanted to do a little video about an observation I've made. I was watching this lady talk about going to a retirement community, and it's 55 and older, and just I've heard other people talk about HOAs where it seems like everybody gets in everybody else's business. And of course, this isn't always, but it does seem like it can happen. And what I realize or I wonder is these retirees are not employed. They're not the boss anymore. They're not the manager. And I have observed other retirees be kind of rude to entry level workers. The former manager thinks that they can tell somebody else's employees what to do because they're like, well, I used to be a boss, so I can be the boss of you. And I know a lot of managers and bosses would say, "Oh, I don't try to get off on this power trip. I don't get off on that. I have the power of somebody's finances in my hand. I don't get off on the that I want them to smile at me and give me great customer service because because they're trying to ingratiate, themselves to me. Like I'm sure a lot of people won't admit that, um, and so when they're retired, they don't get that power trip anymore. And I do think a lot of people enjoy their job because they get to manipulate and coerce and threaten people, and they may be very nice about it. They may not, it may not be a horrible, worst experience in the world, but it's disrespectful. They wouldn't be able to do that to their brothers and sisters or their higher ups. So I think like some people, uh, they like being a manager or a boss because they get off on pushing other people around, telling people, putting people down, implying other people aren't working hard enough. And so when these retirees, so the husband is now at home and the wife is now at home, and they get on each other's nerves because they were bosses and they got to put everybody else down, and because they were in the hierarchy, nobody said anything, but they're equal now. And so the husband tries to put her down, tries to put him down, and there's conflict. Or this happens in the HOA or in the retirement community where all these former upper managers or bosses that used to like to control people, manipulate, coerce, my way or the highway, and they're all equal. Nobody has more power than the other unless there's this malignant narcissist or whatever. So I just kind of had a realization that people who never have, um, you know, learned how to get along and who always were in power positions and kind of deluded about that, their way is the highway, is the best way. Anyways, so it gets what's that? It comes home to roost or something like that. So yeah, I mean, I don't think people should live around other toxic people. Um, yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. Just observing that, and yeah, I don't want to live around some controlling micromanager. I have as a renter, I have moved into places where people have been really micromanaging, like, is there a little spot left on the counter, and like I'm fastidious, I'm reliable, and people are just like kind of like they just want to get a piece of you. They just want you to obey them. They want to control every little action that you do when you're around them. So, uh, yeah, um, it's just a interesting world. It hasn't always been that way. I have had roommates who were like, "Yeah, thanks for doing your dishes. Thanks for taking out the trash. Thanks for paying rent on time. Thanks for being quiet." Those are really that's a valuable thing. But now it seems like people who are landlords or the leaseholder, they're like, oh, and you have to do what I say. You have to give me good customer service. You have to, like, I'm your boss, and like, I'm not paying somebody to boss me around in my own home. Like, it's just crazy how rentals can be right now. So, anyways, those are my thoughts. Thanks for listening. God bless.